Omega Katana. Before I begin, I have to address this. Instead of the usual, "Hey, it's your boy Omega Katana here." Oh wait, I just said it. Instead, my fellow Katanas, I'll greet my viewers as this. Greetings, my fellow Katanas. This is Omega, protector and defender of the Omega Dimension. In the works, by the way. So anyways, today is not going to be about that. Today is going to be, and it's not going to be a vlog piece either, or any other videos, but a game review of not a retro game, of a recently released game. As you can see here, the game features mechs that you can customize to complete missions / tasks given to you by corporations mediated by your organization that you work for to carry out these tasks. Yes, you see Armored Core 3 here. That's the hint. It's not an old Armored Core game, but the recent one. I'll forget. You get the point. It's Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. In Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, you play as a mercenary called Raven, or in the game 621, that can travel to the planet Rubicon. Yes, Rubicon is a planet and not a colony, not an underground bunker, meaning it is not on Earth at all. Since the original Armored Core games, Armored Core 2 and Another Age takes place on the planet Mars. So ever since they haven't used a outer space setting since Armored Core 2. Yeah. So after an incident called the Fires of Ibis scorched the planet, rendering it to a wasteland, its survivors scavenged whatever they can to retake the ruins from invading corporation forces, aiming for a precious resource called coral, and due to their events of their surveys, they're not giving a crap about the people or survivors at all, and they're having a war over it. While infiltrating the planet, you borrow a license so you can do mercenary work on Rubicon without the authorities noticing. After scavenging the ruins of fallen mercs, or I say ravens, our main character comes across a fallen mercenary that has the appropriate qualities to borrow for use in mercenary work on Rubicon. He then gets intercepted by a military chopper belonging to the Planetary Defense Force defending Rubicon. After eliminating the military chopper, the game begins from there after many ravens have fallen due to the chopper's military might. A reference to new players who you're used to Souls games who underestimated the series difficulty as a whole. Yes, I added that as a joke. Because when this game came out, everybody was hyped about the game and saying it's Armored Core 6, it's like Souls and whatnot. And I saw some user reviews giving negative scores because they couldn't be a military chopper and not adapt to its attack patterns. But me personally, I only died once, and everybody was saying like, "Oh, it's the hardest thing ever," blah blah blah. Dude, you guys played Souls games that are harder than a military freaking chopper. Okay, with that sort of synopsis out of the way, let me say this. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon isn't a Souls game whatsoever due to the aforementioned joke. And it's the easiest out of the Armored Core games as of this writing, because you can heal yourself with repair kits, have a booster kick, and pulse armor abilities you can equip. An easier control scheme. What I mean is by that you can zoom around the stage without worrying about your fingers on the controller getting tired or your mind tangled up due to the tank controls. So it's perfect for newcomers and veterans getting back to the cockpit of an Armored Core after 10 years past its previous entry, Armored Core 5 Verdict Day. The voice work is amazing. Now I'm not talking about the original Japanese, even though that's good too. I played in English dub. So don't hang me, weebs. I like the English dub. Because usually in niche series like Armored Core, the English localization work, including the dub, sounds absolutely horrible compared to the original Japanese. Not only do we get amazing voice work by Matthew Mercer, but also the guy from Critical Role and Crom's English voice actor from Fire Emblem Awakening, who does an amazing job as your handler Walter. but also amazing writing for a mech game that you go on missions blowing stuff up for Megacorps. That you feel connected to the characters without even showing who or what they look like. I'm serious here. The game doesn't even show the characters or humans in the game. It's all about the mecha, not the characters. Humans, so to speak. Okay, with that dumb quote and joke out of the way, let's get to the gameplay, shall we? The controls are to X to jump, the left analog stick to move, the right analog stick to lock on and control the camera, the B or square button to boost, the circle X button to use your secondary or close range weapon, and the L1 R1 buttons to use your shoulder weapons. My bad about the previous two buttons. L2 and R2 buttons are to use your primary weapons, and I just remembered now. This isn't the first gen of Armored Core. Fun fact, while I was writing the script here, I got a bit confused of Gen 1 controls and modern controls, because basically I was still getting used to like the tank controls of the first Armored Core game. And now, in Armored Core 6, you can actually customize your controls to fit the control scheme that you desire in the options menu. Correct me if I'm wrong here. The game separates itself into different categories. Missions, where you can do missions, and replay missions. Yes, you can replay missions in this game. A useful feature for grinding or just playing the mission again because it was fun. Then there's your garage mode, which you can use for customizing your Armored Core or mecha to your liking and customizing it from various colors and patterns. 2 emblems of your Armored Core to your liking. Let me tell you, people, all this painting and emblem creation and all that is for free. It comes with the game. You don't have to pay extra for paints and skins. All for free. But the next part is the shop, where you can buy weapons and parts for your Armored Core to make the game easier or harder depending on how you use the part. This also doesn't require real money, but it requires credits when you complete missions or fight in the arena. For starters, there are head parts, arm parts, the core, the legs of the Armored Core, the back weapons, the standard and close range or secondary weapons, then your generator and boosters, and finally your optional parts like pulse armor. Trust me, there's a lot of parts you can use, and money is easy to come by in this game. I forgot to put this in the script that unlike the previous Armored Core games, not bashing them, they don't let you replay missions, and it's hard to get money in that game. So what they did is they let you replay missions so you can grind for money, because money is hard to come by in Armored Core, which I deeply appreciate that again. And you will love it too, because as a result, you can grind missions for parts, for money I mean, so you can get more better weapons and gear and parts for your giant robot or Armored Core, my bad. Then there's the Raven's Nest, where you can battle opponents in real life via the internet. Haven't used that feature because I used the offline mode. And the options where you can improve the graphics and sound and all sorts of fun stuff. As well as the famous arena, where you can fight various CPU controlled ravens or pilots to move up the ranks to get money and sometimes free parts. Also the most fun I had with Armored Core 4, 6 in my opinion. Not 4, 6. My god, my brain. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention during my review. I forgot to describe the experience of the boss fights of this game, and let me tell you, they are not a walk in the park. Unless you configure your loadout to the appropriate scenario. If you do well, for example, for Balteus, you have to equip a laser gun that fires bubbles. Yes, it's lame, but it's able to disable Balteus' shields. And also with the experience so far, including Balteus and that military chopper, is how you approach the fights. Basically, it's not just shoot and dodge, but also when to avoid and when to counterattack as well. As well as not to keep your guard up because it's a FromSoft game and they're known to put some surprises in their games. And my god, I died a billion times fighting Balteus alone, and that was an experience I will hope not to play again unless I need to. And also the Raven AC battles are not a walk in the park either, unless you got a meta build made or you're really good at the game. Anyway, it's not a walk in the park, so to speak. That's all I want to say for now. For the soundtrack to say, it's a total letdown and forgettable compared to Armored Core 4's OST that blends a different type of genres from orchestra, electronica, and grunge music. And Armored Core 6, it features a really bland ambient sounds that sound bland. Why I said bland twice, even in heated AC to AC battles. Some things I need to know in this review due to my Steam Deck had a problem and I had to factory reset it, meaning all my data is gone. So luckily some of my previous data recordings, or video recordings you see here, not data recordings, are preserved. And I was upset at first, and then over time and shortly tend to not mind anymore because I adapted the difficulty and understood its structure to the point of having fun despite playing some of those missions again and losing hours of gameplay and not having a lot of time due to events in real life. That's the main reason I haven't played the Trails RPG series despite having them on my Steam Deck. I'll get to them someday. But despite that horrible setback due to my Steam Deck, I still had a blast playing the game, despite not having a lot of free time. And a lot of you watching will say, Omega, you can always bring your Steam Deck with you to work. Yeah, about that, I personally don't bring my toys/games to work due to many reasons, like getting into trouble at work, as well as preventing it to being stolen. Also, it takes a lot of battery life due to owning the regular first-gen Steam Deck, not the recently released OLED model. So my final verdict for Armored Core 6 Fire's Rubicon is a 9 out of 10. Besides its horrible, forgettable OST and easy difficulty for series vets, it's a perfect entry for newcomers who want to get into the Armored Core series without the crappy English dub or tank-like controls of the earlier generations. As well as being a really fun mecha game that makes you seem like you're inside a mech anime, as well as a sci-fi drama at times, due to how some of the AC battles and missions will keep you on your toes at times. That's all to say for now, and I haven't forgotten about the Omega Dimension podcast at all. I still haven't found the time to do it due to many events happening in real life, but I have a podcast planned, and those who follow me on Twitter or X or to me still Twitter, I announced that the next episode will be about the scrapped game Final Fantasy Versus 13. I hope you can come to the recording, and let me say that don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button, as well to hit that like button and that blue bell for notifications on new content when I post when I have the time. Until then, my fellow Katanas, this is your boy Omega Katana, closing the gates to the Omega Dimension. Sayonara.